Welcome back to the channel, everybody. It's been a minute. It's good to see all you guys again. I am super excited to be here. There's a lot of awesome stuff going on, and I'm here with one of the best founders in the space. I mean, can't really call anybody the best because they're all equally awesome. But what KG has been doing is working on, as you know, Internet Money Wallet. If you're not familiar with this is a big innovation that's on PulseChain right now. Our very own PulseChain first, but EVM compatible crypto wallet. Now on the App Store, now on iOS. It's a good time to experiment with alternative wallets like Rabby and Internet Money. We don't know how much longer MetaMask will be reliable. And I'm not trying to scare anybody. MetaMask is a totally fine crypto wallet. But for anybody new listening, right, if you want to do crypto the right way, you need to hold your own private keys. You need to get a self-custodied wallet. You know, a lot of people call it different things. Just get a wallet where you hold the private keys. And how do you know if you have those private keys? Well, if you have a 12-word seed phrase, that's like your ultimate passphrase for all your money in crypto, then chances are you're holding your own private keys and you have a good, solid crypto wallet. If you're not, then chances are you're using a centralized exchange and you're calling it crypto. You think it's crypto, but it's not. It's just another middleman. It's another bank. It's just the new banks, right? So you think you got money on Coinbase. You think you've got crypto on Robinhood, Coinbase. Is that a moose in the background? What is that? Oh, that's a dog. Sorry, KG's in the woods right now, and I just saw an animal go by you.
Oh, wow, that scared me. I was okay. Yeah, that's actually my dog. We're all good. No danger. I promise. Apologies.
Okay, yeah. A moose would be a little scarier. But yeah, just a dog. All right. Yeah. So we've
It's
got
all
brother
good.
KG out in the woods. What's going on, man?
Yeah, what's up, Coffee? Thanks for having me on today. And everybody, literally, right as I was loading up for the coffee stream, my Wi-Fi went out. I looked down at the bottom right. My Wi-Fi was wrecked. So I came out to the woods where I I'm always making videos out here. I thought, what the heck? I'll do a live stream from out here.
Yeah. I love that. Streaming from the woods, a little peace of mind out there in the wilderness. I think everybody could use a little outdoors time, away from the screens every once in a while. It's also where I get my best ideas when I'm just walking down the beach. It's amazing. So yeah, nature, man. But so what are you excited about, KG? What do you want to
100%.
tell the people that's going on in Pulse Chain land? I think we're poised to totally dominate this bull market when retail money flows in. I think Pulse Chain, HEX, PulseX are going to go huge. I think they're going to explode. They've already done very well in the past month or two, as a recovery from the bottom in terms of that. But I think they're going to go astronomical in the coming bull. And yes, I do believe it's coming. Some people are starting to have some doubts. But what do you have to tell people about kind of the future of crypto, where it's going?
Well, first of all, I completely agree with you about getting out into nature. It's always a great way to center down, step away from the noise of society and the noise of the internet and all that. And apologies if you can hear dogs from a neighbor.
Your
But
sound is good.
okay, cool. So yeah, as far as, the future of crypto and where we are now, I loved your thumbnail, is crypto dead? Because that's a question like the normies always ask crypto people like, "Oh, it's dead, it's over." I think the future of crypto is truly just getting started. I mean, you have less than 1% of humanity that interacts with crypto at all, and less than 20%, that's a made up number, just seems that way. Less than 20% of the 1% that interact with crypto in any meaningful way. Some people might say, oh, hey, I interacted with crypto, or I'm a crypto guy. Oh, yeah, you have $10 on Bitcoin you bought 6 years ago on Coinbase. Like, okay, you're not a crypto guy, So really we are still in such a distilled funnel of the industry. And what's so cool about the HEX and the Pulse Chain ecosystem is that you have a group of people who are legitimately educating about the true principles of DeFi. It's almost like early Bitcoin, where they were educating about the true principles of DeFi. And you have actual legitimate people surrounding our community that want to help their fellow human being understand and onboard into this stuff. So I know, for example, when I point someone to like the Internet Money Telegram or the Pulse Chain Telegram, I know that they're going to talk to real people who aren't going to scam them, who are actually going to help them get into crypto and protect themselves along the way. So I think that coming up in this next bull market, which things are starting to feel bullish, Ethereum crossed over 3,000. Bitcoin, I think, teased over 52,000. So we're not even crazy far from all-time highs. And I think HEX, PulseChain, the whole ecosystem is right at the center of where I want to be personally going into the next bull market.
Yeah, I think everyone's got their eye on it, even if they're just a casual observer. Anyone that's in the crypto sphere has got their eyes on this stuff. But yeah, the thumbnail is a little bit for the normies, right? Because that's something that people always ask: is crypto? Oh, that crypto thing. I heard it was dead. Oh yeah. Didn't Bitcoin go up a whole lot and then it went down a whole lot? It's like, yeah, that's the game that happens every 4 years. That's what we do here. Like, and this is just the cyclical nature of crypto. People don't realize that when crypto is dead is the time to be stacking your position. When nobody cares about it is the time to be filling your bags. So if somehow you stumbled upon this video, congratulations, because I think you're in the right place at the right time. It's really easy to buy when the candles are green. It's called confirmation bias, because you say to yourself, oh, well, everyone else already bought, so it must be a good idea. But then you're late. Okay, then you're buying the top, and then you need to wait for another cycle to do it all over again. So it's much easier to buy during the hype and much harder to buy when everyone says crypto is dead, especially the normies. So pay attention at times like this. And like KG was saying, we've got a community that's unlike anything else. Okay, we've got this. There's a concept of the pyramid of, what is it, contributors. Well, so at the bottom of the pyramid is consumers, and at the middle of the pyramid is contributors, and the top of the pyramid is creators. And every social circle, every community online or in real life, they have some ratio of people that just consume, people that contribute. That could be commenting, sharing, leaving a message, interacting with people, and then creators, which are people like you that actually build physical things, tangible things that can move the ball forward for the whole entire crypto ecosystem. We've got an abnormally high percentage of people in the contributors and the creators, whereas typically the ratio is like 90% consumers, maybe 10% contributors, 1% creators. I think in PulseChain, we've got this grassroots movement where it's skewed heavily towards the contributors and creators. Everyone's doing a little bit of something, whether or not you think it's, it doesn't really matter how big or small it is, as long as it's a little bit of something that you're adding to the community. And you don't see that in other crypto community ecosystems. You really do not. You have telegrams full of people saying, hey, can the devs please do something? Or like, can someone else please pump my bags for me? Nobody seems to care about taking the time to explain to people what is real crypto. Like, again, like KG was saying, a lot of you watching, if you're new here, you might have, $30 of Ethereum on Robinhood and you think that's crypto, but it's not. And if you use a wallet like internetmoney.io, the crypto wallet that KG's built, you enable yourself to access all of decentralized finance, all of the opportunities on PulseChain and beyond, not just PulseChain. But why would you want to shut yourself off from that and just be a slave to the centralized platform such as PayPal that's only going to let you buy, the top 10 cryptos, when there's so much other stuff you can do, yield farming, NFT, whatever you're into? You need a self-hosted wallet. You need something like Internet Money to unlock all that opportunity that the centralized middlemen are only going to let you scratch the surface of.
Well said, truly well said. And even if you're not into all the crazy intricacies that crypto has to offer, right? Regardless of your experience level, even if you're somebody watching and you're like, look, I just want to touch Bitcoin, I don't want to touch anything else. Even if you're buying Bitcoin on Robinhood or Venmo or Coinbase or wherever, you don't even own your Bitcoin. Somebody else owns it for you. So if you're going to get into crypto at all, I hope the wallet you choose is internetmoney.io. But hey, if it's not, choose some wallet that isn't a centralized service, because we saw it with FTX, we saw it with BlockFi, we saw it with Celsius, we saw it with Mt. Gox. We've seen it time and time again where these centralized services steal from you, whether it was intentional or not. They literally steal your money. So it's not a crypto problem. It's a it's entities trying to replicate the central banking model in a space that is lightly regulated, and they're stealing from you. So it's not a crypto problem. It's actually a legacy problem coming and plaguing crypto. Crypto, at the core of what it does, solves all of that. That's the point. That's why we're here. So
Yeah.
well said.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, people need to realize that it's meet the new boss, same as the old boss here a lot of times. Celsius was not real crypto. FTX was not real crypto. So people hear about these giant headlines of Sam Bankman-Fried and Alex Mashinsky, and they did steal billions of dollars or they misappropriated funds. But if you were using real crypto, you don't have to trust people. You can trust smart contracts and code, and that's literally what we're doing. KG's wallet, guys, for people that don't know, it's open source code. It's you can view it. It's been audited, I think, twice. And so yeah, we're taking care of trusting math, not man, I guess, as Richard likes to say, the founder of HEX. You don't have to trust a middleman. The whole original, one of the old sayings in Bitcoin was don't trust, verify. And that just means running code rather than accessing a platform that's basically governed by a small minority of people that have the ability to shut you off. You know, a lot of people are talking about one day there might be a social credit score linked to your bank account. They have this in China already, or some level of this almost everywhere. We've seen people in Canada or Australia have their bank accounts shut off if the government or the powers that be don't like what you're doing.
Canada.
You think they're not going to do that in crypto? They're just going to call it a different name, but you can't. I mean, you could put lipstick on a pig, but it doesn't change the fact that it's centralized middleman bullshit that we invented crypto to get rid of. So, you know, I like your wallet. That follows in the ethos of crypto. Just be careful out there, guys, that the crypto you think you're using, make sure it's real and legit. PulseChain's real DeFi. I don't know if you've heard your friend Sami repeat that 500 times, but PulseChain is real decentralized finance. It's not bullshit. It's crypto the way it was supposed to be. So I think that's what we all have in common with our ideals is, you know, if your shit's got admin keys on it, we're going to avoid it like the plague. I mean, you know, it's nuanced, right? But if you have, you know, a typical scam rug pull type project, the community is very quick to identify those kinds of things.
One analogy I really like to use in the context of crypto, right? Because there's layers and there's filters and there's iterations of being more secure and being more decentralized, right? So I like to use a green bean analogy. If someone says, hey, I'm not going to eat green beans unless I'm eating green beans that are 100% organic, even the manure that's being used, those cows were grass-fed, no antibiotics, USDA approved cows, right? And then that's how I grew my 100% organic green beans. I'm not eating green beans unless I get that. Well, you could argue that even eating canned green beans, which, you know, in comparison aren't that great, but canned green beans in comparison to no green beans are better. So it's taken steps towards getting to that better green bean. And I think that's what a lot of crypto is like, hey, if you're taking steps from fiat towards crypto, hey, if you got in at Coinbase, welcome to the club. You've taken the first step. You got the canned green beans, but you're not there yet. There's more steps to take to get to the best green bean possible.
Crypto, guys, it's as simple as green beans. What a great analogy. If you can understand green beans, you can understand what we're doing here. Oh crap, my camera froze, so you guys are just gonna look at me smiling. It's gonna be weird for a while.
That's a great
Olivia
picture,
M, thank you for the super sticker. If that's who I think it is, thank you very much. I know who you are if you're watching. Yeah, thanks for the super sticker, Olivia. Shout out to you. Basically, yeah, what's happening in crypto is it's a spectrum of decentralized to centralized. Nothing is black or white. Nothing is binary. But you've got the people in the PulseChain community. We are pretty heavily in the camp of we're on the right side of that slider scale towards the decentralized crypto. And what you sacrifice in decentralization is, I guess, perceived security. People can look at it like, oh, it's not as safe. Really, I think that's what's the word for that? Stockholm syndrome, right? When basically they want to make sure their money is insured by, you know, the banks or whatever, which it's not. I mean, we just saw two banks fail a couple of months ago, Silvergate Bank, Silicon Valley Bank. Yeah, sure, it's FDIC insured, but when you're making more than 250K, your money is just a number in their database. And if the bank goes down, you're fucked. And this is going to happen over and over. We're going to see more banks fail. We're going to see the bank term funding program that Janet Yellen put in place. That's going to there's going to need to be something done about that in March. And it's going to be either banks are going to fail and then they'll print more money, or they'll come up with a creative way to kick the can down the road. But what I'm saying is that people they perceive crypto as riskier when in fact it's kind of safer when given the decaying system that we have in front of us today. We have this decaying system that's just not working out. We've put way too much trust in people that keep messing up over and over and over again. I mean, 2008 was only 16 years ago. It was, they basically took everyone's money. That they bailed out the big banks that were too big to fail using your 401ks of the everyday layperson. Your hard-earned money was used to bail out the banks, and people's life savings took a giant hit. People committed suicide, and it's like we actually entered into the longest run of quantitative easing that we've had in, I don't know, a long time, many decades. And so we've lived in this environment of easy money where stock charts just go up and to the right. The S&P 500 just goes up and to the right. And now it's kind of faltering out. We're at this point where, it's not going to keep working forever. What goes up must come down. And so we've been in a recession, whether or not they want to call it a recession in the mainstream media. We've been in a recession for the past year and a half. We've had 2 quarters of negative GDP growth. That's a recession. And things can get better temporarily, but it's like plugging a hole on a sinking ship. And there's always new holes that just keep getting exposed. So this is kind of what happened in late stage Roman Empire as well. They kept devaluing their currency until it just became a joke. I believe we're only right at the beginning of that, and we've got a lot more devaluation to go. But when it comes to federal fiat currencies, dollars, yen, euros, whatever it might be, it's a race to the bottom. It's a race to see who can print more, because the amount of stuff we're making isn't keeping up with the amount of money they're printing. And the amount of money they're printing is really just going to wars that you didn't elect to fund and bureaucrats that you didn't vote to put in office. And it's being wasted. We've got, abject poverty in the USA. We've got cities like San Francisco that look like they're slums. And, all of a sudden Ukraine and whatever else of the day is getting billions of dollars, Gaza, whatever. We're not here to talk about that. We're not here to talk about politics and anything like that. It's just it goes to show you where people's priorities are. It's rules for thee, but not for me, right? They can do whatever they want with the money. They've got shareholders, Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, the military industrial complex. They're not getting any smaller. And once you give a government a little bit of power, they don't ever tend to give it back, right? So I think we're too far gone. Luckily, crypto is the opt-out, right? It's the alternative financial system that we're building in parallel to the traditional financial system. And people like KG, all of us watching, most of you guys, have probably opted out for a better way. So you're going to have one foot in your normie world. You're going to have a bank account still, but you can now have a self-custodied wallet like Internet Money. Another plug for that. It's like having digital money under the mattress. Literally, it's like having digital money under the mattress. That's as close to a literal metaphor as you can get, except it's ones and zeros. You can bring it across borders. All you got to do is memorize 12 words in your head. If you can do that, nobody can stop you yet. Maybe one day when Neuralink comes along and some crazy, maybe they'll be able to read your mind one day. And
don't think your seed phrase. Don't think it. I'm not thinking about my seed phrase, I swear.
That's a scary world, huh? To think about. Oh, let me get my camera situation figured out.
For sure. And you're hitting the nail right on the head in that. Oh, one second.
Is that a dog I hear? All right, we're back. KG, you're on mute.
You guys aren't going to believe what happened. I hate to derail the conversation, but I'm out here in the woods, and 4 puppies, I don't know where they came from, just rolled up on me.
I don't think anyone's mad at you for 4 puppies. The internet loves puppies.
Here you go. I'll mute it. But look, they just rolled up on me out here in the woods.
That is hilarious. Wow.
So I apologize for interrupting the stream with the noise, but that's the nature of the situation right here.
That's awesome. Those puppies want you to get Internet Money Wallet, everybody. Go download it on your phone, iOS, Apple App Store wallet.
Puppy endorsed.
Yeah. Yeah. Go get yourself Internet Money. Play around with it. Yeah, dude, it's getting better every day. Do you want to talk about your wallet? Let's talk about the updates lately.
Yes, I do. Give me 30 seconds.
All right, all right. Let's go talk to the chat. Let's go talk to the chat. He's got puppies to deal with. KG's out in the woods, as you'd expect. AOKG says, tell KG he's got the best wallet ever. Thanks for developing a great app. Thank you. I'm sure he heard that. Crypto Bigfoot says those are my puppies. Yeah, Crypto Bigfoot's probably out in the woods too right about now. Let's see.
All right, I'm back. I'm good. Sorry
It was
about
meant
that.
to happen. Yeah, cool, man. Well,
So
go ahead.
So basically the updates with the wallet, for those who have been around and know about the wallet, we've got some exciting updates in the pipeline. For those that are new to the wallet, the high level overview is, if you're familiar with using MetaMask at all, which if you're in any Ethereum blockchain, PulseChain, Ethereum, Binance, Polygon, Avalanche, Phantom, any EVM chain, you would have used MetaMask at some point. All right, it's the standard. Well, we are a MetaMask alternative. So everything you're used to doing with MetaMask, you can do with the Internet Money Wallet. Yes, we have some features that are slightly different than each other, but the core of what you're used to doing in DeFi, you can do with the Internet Money Wallet. One major difference is, for the PulseChain community, is we're native to PulseChain. So if you're trying to onboard somebody into PulseChain, you don't have to mess around with RPC settings. We have most of the PulseChain ecosystem tokens preloaded into the wallet with logos, so you don't have to worry about contract addresses most of the time. And also, we have price tracking for all PulseChain assets. So every single PulseChain token has a price in the Internet Money Wallet, along with 71 other EVM chains as well, all have prices in the wallet. So it's very DeFi friendly. We've detached ourselves from CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap. That's where other wallets get their prices from. So anything you're used to doing with MetaMask, you can do with the Internet Money Wallet. One really cool thing that we do that is very different than other wallets is our in-app swap feature, which exists on PulseChain, Ethereum, Binance, and Polygon. It's actually the best place to swap on PulseChain. We can get into that if you're interested. 100% of the revenue that is generated from the in-app swap is distributed to holders of our token time. So if you're holding time on PulseChain, you're earning passive income in PLS without staking, without locking up your time, because that is what the revenue is being generated in. Same thing on Binance, you're earning BNB. On Ethereum, you're earning ETH. And on Polygon, you're earning Matic. So that's the high level overview. We're open source. We're twice security audited. We've been on the market for over a year. About a year and 4 months now. We beta tested for about a year. If you check out our website, internetmoney.io/stats, you can see we just breached over 35,000 downloads, almost at 36,000 downloads. And new in the pipeline, the big feature we're working on right now is NFT support in the app. So currently, you can do, Currently, you can do everything you want to do with NFTs in the Internet Money Wallet, connect to NFT dApps, mint your NFTs, things like that. The one thing you can't do is view your NFTs in app on Android, iOS, and Chrome. So currently, we are working on that. That's the next major feature that you're going to see released from us. And we know we're obviously always making enhancements and improving if any bugs are found. So yeah, that's where we're at. I think that's a good stopping point for now.
That's great. Yeah. All you NFT bros out there, especially on PulseChain, people don't talk about it, but PulseChain, it should be the ideal place to do your NFT business, because minting on OpenSea on the Ethereum side, it costs you an arm and a leg. It's actually one of the biggest gas guzzlers is NFT minting. So do it over on PulseChain, and then pretty soon Internet Money will show you all those juicy NFTs that you love. We've also got like 8 other NFT platforms, which I guess that's probably a technical problem, figuring out how to access like the JPEG databases of all those different places. I don't know. It sounds like kind of a hassle.
Well, that where you get the picture from, right, is when somebody mints an NFT, the image is hosted somewhere. If it's a really good NFT collection, the images are going to be hosted on IPFS. And for those that I actually learned that IPFS stands for Interplanetary File System. That was a new find for me. But anyways, so a good NFT project is going to have their images hosted on IPFS, because it's kind of the blockchain of file hosting, I guess. Some NFT projects, they have their, images hosted wherever. Point being is each NFT comes with metadata, and that metadata tells you what traits, what attributes, or whatever the NFT has. So the NFT marketplace, you don't have to actually aggregate all that information to get the images. You just have to know where the images are coming from and display the metadata that is given by the contracts and the, I guess, where the images are hosted. Now, where it gets really tricky is pricing NFTs in apps, because for tokens, what you can do is you could just go to a DEX, right? What a lot of people don't know actually is that DEXs are actually on-chain oracles, right? So you can go to DEXs and get prices for tokens. That's how DEX Screener works. That's how DEX Tools works. That's how DEX Guru works. They're going directly to the DEX and they're getting the on-chain oracle price feed. So with NFTs though, it's a little different because there's no DEXs for NFTs. There's only marketplaces. So what do you do if on marketplace one, the floor price of the NFT is, $1, let's say, and then on marketplace number two, the floor price is 50 cents. Okay. And then the high price for the NFT is $100, right? So there's another tool. They're NFT marketplace price aggregators. So we don't currently have one of those on PulseChain as a community. I know that there's some teams working on one. So for other chains like on Polygon, Binance, and Ethereum, you have like services like Moralis. Shout out to Ivan on Tech, great service. They have NFT marketplace price aggregator, which we obviously want Moralis on PulseChain. That would solve a lot of our NFT issues. But yeah, I don't remember what started that question, but there's some education about NFTs and aggregation.
Yeah. No, it's cool. I'm learning new stuff all the time as well. So that's awesome. Carnival Game says it's huge not having to think about contract addresses as it's garbage. MetaMask doesn't. For people that don't understand what that means, it's like the standard wallet that everybody uses is called MetaMask, right? When you download the MetaMask wallet and you try to add some coins to your wallet, it doesn't default the pretty logos on there. You actually have to it doesn't even recognize the coins. If you search for them, you have to go manually paste a contract address, which, the new people might not know how to get that, right? You go to a blockchain explorer, copy paste, but it's not that easy to figure out for new people. But Internet Money, what's nice about it is that it plays so nicely with not only Ethereum and all the other big chains, Polygon, Binance Smart Chain, all the big networks, but it's very PulseChain friendly, specifically for all the coins. All your pretty logos will show up. You don't actually have to do any, going and getting the contract address. You just search for the coin you want to add. And as long as it's relatively, well known on PulseChain, they're going to have it defaulted in their dropdown. So big hurdle out of the way for the average everyday user. A lot of people, one of the most common, complaints I get or whatever is, hey, I don't see my coins in my wallet. Where are they? Are they gone? And it's like, well, no, they're not gone. The coins are there, right? You just need to reveal them. And MetaMask, they don't play nice with PulseChain. We can't trust them. So you actually have to go add the coin manually, which is kind of garbage as a user experience. You know what I mean?
I do completely. MetaMask doesn't even have accurate pricing for PLS itself. It's not pricing any of the PulseChain assets, or maybe very few of them. And, we don't have every token logo preloaded on PulseChain yet. I mean, it's growing every day. We're adding as new ones come online, but eventually, and I'm going to reserve the in-depth technicals, but eventually we're going to have a feature where it doesn't matter what your token is, you're not going to have to know contract addresses at all ever for most chains that we support.
That'd be pretty ideal. Olivia's got a question. How can people use blockchain to connect with other parts of our market to find efficiencies that go beyond our firm at a practical market level? I don't know if I fully understand that, but I'll try to answer it in a way that makes sense. The benefit of blockchain is really just censorship resistant. Like, you can imagine blockchains as a really slow, shitty database that you can only read from and write to. You can never go back and edit this database. So people call it kind of the ultimate source of truth. It's maintained by a whole bunch of different nodes that all have to keep the same copy of the database, right? Imagine a large, big Excel spreadsheet, And it's the source of truth because nobody can go back and lie about what happened in the past. If I made a transfer to KG and KG made a transfer to this person, it keeps a record of all the transaction history, all of everyone's coin balances. And because the record book is maintained by so many different people, all these different people, or nodes as they're called, are all watching each other to make sure nobody's lying. And so really all you need, the primary thing you need a blockchain for is censorship resistance. And the primary, the number one thing that this fixes is money, actually. The first use case of this is to fix the money, right? And, we say if you fix the money, you fix the world. There's a lot of other really cool applications for blockchains, specifically, NFTs have a huge array of use cases and all that stuff. So does crypto in general. You've got DeFi, but at the very foundational level, right? The internet kind of democratized information, and blockchain democratizes value transfer. Because with the internet, it was awesome, but if I can copy and paste a file 1,000 times, and we want to have value transfer on the internet, well, what's stopping me from just copying and pasting a Bitcoin 1,000 times? And then, now I have 1,000 Bitcoin. So blockchains kind of introduced this digital scarcity. And if everybody all agrees collectively that this coin or that coin has value, well, the code actually has a fixed supply amount. It's not like somebody in their mom's basement can go print 100,000 Bitcoin just off their printer or whatever. They can't just like copy and paste a Bitcoin. So digital scarcity, censorship resistance as well, meaning nobody can tell you who you can send the coins to and who you can't send the coins to, right? There's no bank account that says, hey, I don't like what you're doing, you can't send here. So it enables kind of a fully global market as well. I think we're going to see a lot of previously underserved countries with full access to essentially banking infrastructure that now exists in a decentralized way. Anyone with a crypto wallet and a seed phrase can now put the power back into their own hands and hold something of value, whether it's HEX or PulseChain or Ethereum or Bitcoin. All these coins have a dollar value and they can be traded for goods and services. And I think that is the most core thing of what blockchain fixes. We don't even need to talk about the other use cases. I mean, we can, but we'd be talking for 5 hours straight. That's good enough, right? Fixing the money is one of the greatest things I think we can all do as a society. Breaking away from the traditional financial system and separating money and state is something it's the most revolutionary thing since the internet. So that's why we're excited here about that.
No, and as you were well said, and as you were explaining, like you can't just go and print more Bitcoin and whatever. All I wanted to say was, yeah, this isn't the Federal Reserve or anything like that. This isn't the fiat system with unlimited mint admin key, right? That can just print as many dollars into the system as they want and dilute everybody on impact. That's one of the most beautiful things about crypto is that fact is that the rules of the game you're entering into, whether that's ETH, HEX, Time, PulseChain, whatever, the rules of the game are set, and the rules of the game cannot, in many cases, cannot be changed, period. In some cases, they can be changed with majority consensus, but in either way, that is a much better reality than us all being born into whatever country we were born into, and all of a sudden we are subjects to the rules of the financial game that we're indoctrinated with. And like you said, some third world countries, they don't even have access to bank accounts, but they all have Android phones. So with a crypto wallet, they can transact across the world 24/7, 365. And if you're using a network like PulseChain, for pennies. It's financial freedom in so many ways, more than just, green candles, which is nice.
Yeah.
But there's so many layers of financial freedom to this industry.
Yeah, I think the last people to fully realize the power of crypto are, the white collar, upper middle class, professor at Stanford. That's no offense to anyone that I'm talking. If I'm talking about you specifically, but like the people that have their heads so far up their own ass that they're like everything's fine. Why would we need? Banks work just fine. Why do we need crypto? It's like, but they don't. And just because it hasn't happened to you, you weren't the one trying to donate to the truckers in Canada.
Right.
Who were protesting mask mandates because they're truck drivers. And by the way, they're also the lifeblood of the whole economy. And you're not feeling the victimization yet, but just because it hasn't happened to you doesn't mean it won't. And people in power, again, they tend to not like to give it back. They just take. There's a really good question in the chat here that I think every newbie or anybody should be asking, right? It's about safety. And you're here, we're talking about your wallet, your crypto wallet. It's great. It's been running fine for a while now, which gives me a little more trust every single day that it exists, right? That it gives me more trust. But how can we be sure that it can't be hacked? How do you answer that?
Nobody could ever answer that question in confidence for any software product that exists. This isn't an internet money problem. This is a software problem. This is the age-old issue of cops and robbers, right? The good guys can only respond to the bad guys. In a lot of ways, the bad guys innovate, right? So to ultimately answer that question, you can't insure it. Now, what you can insure is that you take measures, whether you're interacting with internet money or MetaMask or any other wallet, you could take measures to secure yourself against it. One of the best ways to secure yourself against it is using a hardware wallet, because if you're using a hardware wallet, even if internet money wallet or MetaMask or any wallet got completely hacked, your seed phrase and your private keys were never stored on that device that the wallet is operating on. So they can't steal anything from you. Now, for the people who are using the wallet without a hardware wallet, you are taking another level of risk, because I can't speak for every wallet. I can speak for internet money when I say that we do not store anybody's private keys or seed phrases, are never communicated to the team in any way, shape, or form. And if you can't read code, you could hire somebody to read our open source code and verify that as a fact. But in the case of internet money and some other wallets, the seed phrase and the private keys are stored on your local device, and they're encrypted, but they get unencrypted with the password. So a sophisticated hacker could, in theory, log onto your local device and unencrypt your seed phrase. Now, that's still a very complex hack and attack, but we have people out there hacking Sony. We have people out there hacking literally the SEC's Twitter. I mean, people are out there getting hacked. So the best way you can prevent yourself from not just internet money wallet, but any wallet you're interacting with, is using hardware wallets. And if you're a more advanced user, use multiple hardware wallets and a multi-sig technology. But it's layers of the onion.
It's kind of funny how you see all these, banks and like Microsoft or like Amazon will get hacked. And it's just like, aren't these guys like big enough not to, to figure this out? And it almost makes me think some of it is planned, but that's just my conspiracy theory brain. Anyway, going back to this guy's question. All of what KG said is true. He's being honest with you guys. Not a lot of other people are going to be completely honest that there's risk. There's existential risk with everything. We could have a meteor hit the earth tomorrow. We could have a solar flare that wipes out the entire electrical grid. The internet goes down. And then guess what? You don't really care about crypto anymore. You care about guns and ammo. That's what you care, and water and whatever. So, and taking all the precautions that you can take, one thing I can add on to that is that more eyeballs on the code is typically better. And when you made your code open source, you basically made it viewable to the public to prove, among other things, that you are truly not storing anyone's private keys on behalf of them. That's the most important thing. But the more eyeballs on the code in general, the better, because other people can catch bugs in the wild that you might not yourself. When you're staring at the same thing all day, sometimes there's tunnel vision and you need third parties. That's why he's also paid auditing companies, 2 of them, to do an audit. That's what code audits are. They're just paid for eyeballs by people that know what they're talking about. The eyeballs are expensive because these eyes know code, right? And they're eyeballs in their brains. So they're not cheap, but they're important to do. And an audit is by no means like an end all be all of this is definitely safe forever. But everything, you walk outside during the daytime, you might get hit by a car, right? So at some point you gotta cut your losses and just accept some level of risk. But I view the risk to be lower on internet money pretty much every day. The risk gets a little bit lower every day because it's existed for longer. And like you said as well,
Sure.
this is like a Richard Hart quote, but the best way to protect customers' data is simply not to store it at all.
Exactly. And not only do we not store or collect private keys and seed phrases, which is arguably the pinnacle, we don't store or collect any data at all, period. So when we are, as a product, we are American citizens and we have an American company. And so eventually, we get the question, well, what happens if the American government comes knocking at your door and forces you to comply? Well, here's the beautiful thing. We're going to comply completely. And you know what? We have an empty basket to give them. So we get to stay in compliance and protect customers' information by not ever collecting it. And even if the wallet gets shut down and in some crazy means, the meteor hits the earth, let's say, as long as you have your seed phrase or your private keys safely secured, you can just go and take them to another wallet. That's the beauty. On like a centralized exchange, if they go down, you're wrecked. You got your money stolen from. If MetaMask or Rabby or internet money goes down, as long as you have your seed phrase, you're still out there and your money's still protected.
Yeah, guys, really, I mean, that's all crypto. That's all real crypto is seed words. I mean, it's more than that. But if you want to simplify things to the
At
core,
the base level, yeah.
not your keys, not your coins. If you don't know what that means, then you're probably not doing crypto the right way. So I know this is a lot of review for people. I'm trying to make content that is evergreen. So somebody coming and watching this a month later might learn a thing or two, right? So in the audience, no question is a stupid question within reason, but it's, I understand new people come here all the time, and sometimes crypto is like speaking a different language. So if you want us to break things down, guys, in the chat, don't be shy. Don't be shy to ask. We've got a question about the time token. This is the native token to your wallet. They're asking, if I buy time and just leave it in the wallet, you're just going to get more time by leaving it sitting there.
Well, this is actually a beautiful question. So, if you mean, are you going to get more time, as in the abstract concept of what is time in reality? Yes, it's going to free your time. But in the crypto sense of, am I going to get more time, the token? No. So, if you hold time, you're actually earning the native coin of the blockchain you hold it on. So, if you're holding time on PulseChain, you're actually earning PLS. Time is not inflationary, so you can't earn time as a reward. So when somebody does a swap within the internet money wallet, let's use PulseChain in this example, regardless of what token they're swapping, token A to token B, a fee is going to be charged in the form of PLS. Now that fee is actually less than other major competitors, and 100% of that fee is distributed to the holders of the time token. So if you're holding time, you're earning passive income in PLS. And there's some intricate game theory there if people want to dive into the game theory, but that's the high level of time of earning income with time.
Yeah. Long story short, hold time token, earn PLS. Or, if you're on Binance Smart Chain, earn BNB. Every time people are swapping in the app, they take a tiny little transaction fee and it gets divvied up to all the time token holders, proportional to how much time token you're holding.
Exactly.
Kind of a model we've seen before. The interesting thing with time is that there's no staking involved. You just hold the coins in your wallet and the money just kind of trickles in as more people use the wallet. So full disclosure, I do not own any time. Maybe I'll regret that. I'm overloaded on coins, but we'll see. Like it actually makes sense because it's as if you could buy into a share of MetaMask's swap button, right?
Exactly.
I don't think they're allowing anyone to do that, but this is kind of like divvying up all the profits that technically a centralized company might earn, and it's divvying them up among the believers in the protocol, and they're expressing that belief by buying the token. Same concept in HEX, same concept in a lot of coins.
So here's also some bullish thoughts too. So MetaMask right now earns on average $95,000 to $2 million a day in fees. By best estimates, MetaMask does not openly disclose that information, so it's left open to the broader crypto community to deduce that. But the best estimates that can be gathered is $95,000 to $2 million a day, all going into our friend JP Morgan Chase's pocket, but that's a different story. So also, another cool thing about the Internet Money Wallet, and this is a true statement and it's no additional fees to people, is Every swap in the Internet Money wallet, for my PulseChain enthusiasts out there, buys and burns HEX, PulseX, and the Ink token. Every single swap in the Internet Money wallet, regardless of what token you're swapping, it buys and burns some other tokens as well, like Time, but it buys and burns HEX, PulseX, and Ink. So we're aiding to PulseX's deflation. We created deflation for Ink, and we created deflation for HEX. There you go.
That's a mic drop right there, and people, let's break it down for the noobs as always. You're burning tokens out of existence. That's making the coin more scarce. And you're doing this for INC. I know there's like another project, TYRH or something that's burning INC too, but that's awesome. You're making these coins that are already scarce, even more so scarce. Very interesting, and it's a good gesture of good faith to the core crypto coins as well, PulseX, HEX, and PulseChain. It's basically another way of saying, hey, we're on team win. We're all on the same team here, and we're going to help out by burning some coins. Do you say buying and burning?
Buying and burning.
Buying and burning, guys, which I think even the mid-curvers can understand this one. You buy a coin, the price goes up. You burn the coin, supply goes down. There's not much of a better thing you can do in the price chart than buy and burn. That's what PulseX has, a buy and burn function. I love hearing that Time token does as well, or Time Internet Money wallet does as well. And I keep forgetting about that part. That's kind of like the final infinity stone of the whole thing.
Yeah, and Time. Okay, I'm gonna deep dive a little bit to some game theory, and we can pivot if it's too deep in the weeds. But so the way the buy and burn works is we've launched contracts that are pointed to each one of these tokens. If you want to check out the buy and burn anybody, you can go to app.internetmoney.io or just go to the website and click on DApp. But you deposit Time into contracts. And so what happens is those contracts are now earning Pulse as a holder of Time. And anybody can go and run the public call functions. Anybody can build the front end. They're immutable, no admin key contracts. So now Time itself has a buy and burn. So like Coffee said, you have positive buy pressure, some number go up. And then you have burn, which deflates the supply, but also has an ancillary benefit of those tokens never being able to re-enter the market as sell pressure. So a buy and burn is arguably the best possible tokenomic for any token whatsoever. I'm open to be swayed on that opinion, but legitimately, objectively, I cannot find the fault in that argument. Side story. So Time is in those contracts fueling the buy and burn. Now, because Time itself is being bought and burned, Time is deflationary. So if you're holding Time, your portion of the income is actually increasing passively because your position in relation to the total supply is going up. So that is good for you as the individual holder because you're earning more income over time proportionally. And the other buy and burns like HEX, PulseX, and Ink are also becoming stronger buy and burns as Time gets bought and burned. So it's this really synergistic circular system that it gets stronger and more powerful as the wallet grows.
I like that. I like that a lot. Buy and burn seems to be the hot meme, the hot narrative meme this cycle. Because it's easy to understand and it actually works. We've seen 3%, almost 4% now of all the PulseX tokens in existence become burned out of existence from buy pressure generated by trading volume. So, this is something easy to understand. And it's funny because a lot of projects within the community have just copied and pasted this pumpamental, right? This dynamic, like almost to oblivion. Like, everything's got a buy and burn now. So it works, as long as people care about the coin for other reasons as well. But buy and burn is a great thing to integrate.
Well, here's the beautiful thing about our buy and burn, okay? You don't have to care about Time at all. You could hate Time. It could be your least favorite token in existence. As long as you're in the wallet swapping your favorite coins, Time is still getting bought and burned. So is HEX, so is Inc, so is PulseX. You don't, as long as you like getting the best possible highest yielding swaps that PulseChain has to offer, which the internet money wallet provides, as long as you're a money maxi, time is getting bought and burned. If you're a gain maxi, time's getting bought and burned.
I love that. That's great, man. That's just really a keystone innovation in the ecosystem. So appreciate it. Oh my God, we have got a pretty hefty tip here, pretty girthy one. Thank you, Just Hex a lot for the $99.99. That's awesome, man. Thank you so much. God bless you too. Long live King Richard. Yes, King Richard will return. The prodigal son will return after he's done maiming the SEC violently. He will come back. I fully believe that, by the way. People that don't know, Richard Hart, the founder of HEX, PulseChain, and PulseX, has an epic legal team right now, 11 lawyers from 5 different jurisdictions, ex-SEC. Some of these guys were voted scariest lawyers. Literally, that's an award that they gave out to one of these lawyers. And, this guy, he's got nothing but drive, nothing but extra time and money. And he's the person you want in your corner fighting for your rights on the legal, spectrum. Because the SEC is, hide your kids, hide your wife, because they're suing everybody out here. There's no rhyme or reason to, their arbitrary they're just going after everybody, right? They're telling you to follow the rules, and then they're not giving you rules to follow. And that's what's happening in crypto. It's driving innovation out of the USA. So we're hoping for a big win, and at the very worst case, a settlement. It doesn't affect HEX, PulseChain, PulseX, other than in the minds of the masses. If the masses choose to make this a boogeyman, it will. But I think now that the tides have turned, the narrative has shifted, we're all very, very confident that, again, worst case scenario, settlement fee. Best case scenario, we get a win for all of crypto. So this case matters on the global scale, because a win for HEX, PulseChain, and PulseX as not securities officially, and maybe even some case law to use in future cases, is going to be amazing for crypto, not only in the USA, but worldwide, because you won't have the SEC trying to be the policeman of the entire world, doing their reckless, they call it regulation by enforcement, saying, hey, you're guilty until proven innocent, when really you should be innocent until proven guilty. Thank you, Sir Hex a lot, or Just Hex a lot. Sorry, Just Hex a lot. Appreciate that tip, dude.
Well said, Coffee. And it is totally, and here's another thing about the SEC, right? Is, okay, so they went after Richard. Okay, there was this NFT project called Stoner Cats. I like to use this example a lot because it involved Ashton Kutcher, Mila Kunis, Chris Rock, Vitalik, and one other person. They were the voice actors of this cartoon, and the way to get access to it was to buy the NFT. Well, they got deemed an unregistered security. They stopped them, and they made them pay a $20 million fine. So who won in that case? Did the investors who bought the NFT to watch the content, did they win? No, the SEC rugged the Stoner Cats community. When the SEC announced the case against Richard and PulseChain red candle to hell for a minute, the SEC is who is hurting the crypto industry, not the people they're prosecuting. Okay, sure, there's actual legitimate scammers out there, and yeah, they deserve to obviously get in trouble. But so you're saying Vitalik, Chris Rock, Mila Kunis, and Ashton Kutcher are Vitalik? Okay, out of all of them, I'll give you Ashton Kutcher maybe, but Vitalik is a scammer. I mean, it's like they are the ruggers. You know what I mean? They're the problem. They're the ones who are actually hurting people, not the people who are innovating. And you're right, man. It is driving innovation out of America. Like my partner and I, we actually had the privilege of sitting down with one of the SEC commissioners, Hester Pierce.
Oh, wow.
She put out a tweet on Twitter about a year and a half ago. She was like, hey, I'm going to be in Houston. Anybody who wants to talk crypto, shoot me an email. So we shot her an email, and we met her at a Starbucks in Houston, and we got to talk to her for an hour. And she's actually, I think she has the right frame of mind about it, because she says she thinks crypto is libertarian. And at the core of her beliefs, she's a libertarian. And what she agrees with is that exactly what you said, is that we're telling people to follow the rules, but they don't know what rules to follow because they're not clear. And so she's like, that's what her thing is to work with people to help outline and identify what the rules should be so that we're not
Yeah.
building over our shoulder. Because tomorrow, maybe the thing we were doing today that was okay is not okay tomorrow. And that's not, innovation can't happen in that environment. Can,
It,
but
that's amazing that you talked to Hester Pierce, guys. For people that don't know, she's on the board of the SEC. She's not the chairman. That's Gary Gensler, but she has a lot of disagreements with Gensler about the way things should be. So I love that people like you have boots on the ground and shaking those hands in real life and getting your name out there and representing PulseChain. You're exactly the kind of person that I want out there, not only representing your wallet, but our whole community at large. And so, what was I going to say? Yeah, it's just that gaslighting, right? It's
yeah,
I think all of American culture and society right now, we're very tired of all this, right? Like, oh, being blamed that inflation is our fault, and it's like, oh, well, you're the one eating too much meat, or you're the one doing all inflation. There's all this gaslighting, and it's right. It's never been so in your face. It's like the Biden thing is a good one. It's like his strength, his strength is his age. And it's clear that there's nobody less fit to run the country, or like, right? Like, I feel bad for him. Like, can't form thoughts and sentences. Like, but if that was my grandpa, I wouldn't want him up there as the puppet,
yeah,
the current puppet for whoever it might be. Call it whatever you want, deep state, Kamala Harris, whatever. But it's the same thing in the SEC as well. It's like, hey, follow the rules. What are the rules? Oh, you have to guess. But if we don't like you, then you
right,
you didn't follow the rules. So
right.
hopefully that's going to change pretty soon, especially with election season, guys. We're going to see things be shaken up. And for people that don't know, yes, the founder of HEX, PulseChain, PulseX was sued by the SEC. Now, people hear SEC and they think, oh no, scary, right? But number one, they're a civil agency; they don't throw people in jail. Number two, a lot of these things end in fines, right? And then it's business as usual. Now we're hoping that doesn't happen, but number three, HEX, PulseChain, and PulseX, what they actually are at their core is just code. It's decentralized code, not even run by Richard at all. If Richard got hit by a bus tomorrow, these three products would continue to run flawlessly with nobody touching them, right? They're just smart contracts that live on a blockchain, and that this blockchain is maintained by 50,000 validators across the globe, not even in the USA. Yes, some of them are in the USA, but these are people all over the world. Australia, Europe, the UAE, South Africa. We've seen some nodes there. So they don't even understand what they're trying to sue. They're trying to incorporate HEX, PulseChain, and PulseX as some kind of legal entity that's as if it was a business, but that's like saying I'm suing Bitcoin, right? And just assuming that we all work for. It's like what your grandma says. Oh, are you working for Bitcoin? As if it's like
Yeah, yeah.
Bitcoin Incorporated, and we all go to our jobs at the Bitcoin factory to mine new Bitcoin. We put on our hard hats and we go mine for Bitcoin. It's not quite like that. So it just shows how out of touch I think they are. So you can rest assured by knowing what these products are, that they're just code, that they're decentralized, that they have no affiliation with the founder at all. You can be a lot less scared about the big bad SEC because they have no power over the code, and they might have very limited power over the man that built the code.
Yeah, well said. It is. It's all. I think that they do know what they're doing, and at the end of the day, the SEC is a business, and they saw Richard as an opportunity to make money. They're like, look, this crypto guy just got $1 billion, and he's out there shaking his butt in Gucci suits. Well, yeah, that's an easy guy to pin against the jury of peers who make 40K a year as being a bad guy. But
Mm-hmm.
those people who actually know the details of the scenario, I don't feel scammed by Richard. I don't feel scammed by anything that happened. I'm glad to be a part of it. All I want to do is build more and promote it more. So it's like they I think they saw it as an easy opportunity to get a check in the SEC bank. And I think they picked on the wrong community because we're savvy. Like the example you gave in the beginning of the 90%, 10% contributor consumer thing. We are doers. We are go-getters in this community. And for those out there watching that think, oh, I want Richard to go down and I want PulseChain to fail, for a moment, put your bias on the shelf and recognize that a win or loss for Richard, for PulseChain, for HEX is a win or loss for the entire crypto industry. And if you can't get behind that, then I would argue that you are not a true crypto enthusiast and you don't really care about the future of crypto.
Or you don't care about freedom in general, right? If you think
Exactly.
the banks know what's best for you, just like big pharma knows what's best for you, just like, go ahead and trust the three-letter agencies that have never had your best interest at heart. But we do things a little different here. So everybody watching, for the most part, we have the courage to go beyond what's called the chilling effect. And that's what the SEC has instilled in a lot of Americans. A lot of people, with the appeal to authority thing, they assume the SEC must be right or know what they're doing, when really they're threatened by the power structure that exists today, feels threatened by the power of cryptocurrency to completely overturn it. It's a disruptive technology. And what does that mean? Disruptive to who? Disruptive to the incumbents. And the SEC is like the dying gasp, the last breath of the incumbents trying to maintain what little power they have. Now that they can't stop it from happening, but they can make it uncomfortable and they can scare people into chilling their free speech. That's what the chilling effect means. They can scare people into silencing them. And it's even worse than fear of punishment. It's fear of the unknown. It's fear of maybe there will be a punishment, but we don't even know. Hey, didn't they throw that one guy in jail? I heard about that Ross Albright guy, or I heard about that Tornado Cash developer. I don't want to end up like him. I'm just going to not worry about that crypto thing. Or Elizabeth Warren, Senator Littlefeather, the Karen of crypto, she told me that crypto is all for money laundering and for sex trafficking and everything illegal, when really that's 99% of it comes from the US dollar. And you can prove on chain that less than 1% of all crypto transactions are used for illicit finance. You could prove that because blockchains by definition are public ledgers. You could see where the money's going. It's not all going to North Korea. A very, very tiny chunk of it is. Most of it's being used for regular everyday things. But you can see these people that just want to maintain power, and you got to wonder where these where they're coming from, who's telling them, who's giving them these talking points. If I had to guess, it would be it'd be like right down to the Federal Reserve itself. But anyway, I want to direct people to the ecosystem map on the screen right now. PulseChain is different because we didn't stop building. We didn't stop talking about what we loved. We didn't stop talking about free speech and taking the power back, financial freedom, mad gains. You'll own everything and be happy, right? This is the PulseChain ecosystem map, and this isn't even all the projects, but we've got over 200 solid, legit projects, or dev tools, or gaming, or mobile apps. That's what you're doing. Community apps, identity, fiat on ramps, off ramps, ways to buy HEX and PulseChain, DeFi, decentralized finance, DEXs, analytics dashboards. And does this look like a dying community, right? Does this look like somewhere like it's a ghost town? You got meme coins, NFT projects, HEX related stuff. There's so much out here that we've got people putting their life and force energy, their blood, sweat, and tears into. And this is a global community as well. I can actually prove, I've got some metrics to show how global we are. I'm not going to pull them up right now, but they're kind of shaking the wrong hornet's nest because we're not stopping. And when you tell somebody, like when you tell a little kid they can't do something, what do they want to do? They want to go do that thing 10 times more, right? And so you always have this backlash effect. It was the same thing with probably, the election, or same thing with certain COVID policies, right? It's like you tell someone if you try to tell someone they can't do something and it doesn't make sense as to why, you're not giving a logical breakdown as to why, people are going to double down on their convictions, and they're going to want to do that naughty thing 10 times more. And so that's what we're doing here.
Man, if you are look, okay, there's degrees to crypto, right? Some people just want to put money in and make money, and I get that, and that's valid, and you're valid in that. But for those people who are out there who are feeling stifled or suppressed by the systems they were born into, a fight for crypto, in my opinion, is a fight worth having. And whether that fight, it's not necessarily picking up guns and going shooting your senators. Please don't do that. But it's a social fight and a financial fight. And when you can, if you see somebody out there spreading a message that you resonate with, like it, retweet it, make a video about it, put it on a t-shirt, meet with your local government and talk to them about what you're passionate about. Get behind people and projects that are resonating with your message. So there are things you can do that every single person can do that can help this movement along. And every single person has power, and every single person has their own way of communication and their own way of representing their personal beliefs and personal brand. And you're going to resonate with somebody that nobody else can. So spread the message about the things you believe in. And rule number one, not your keys, not your coins.
Agree, man. This is a good time to wrap up. The PulseChain community watching, we know we're the best. We know we're doing things differently. But yeah, guys, you get your message across. You get more flies with honey than vinegar, as they say. And everybody, you know, I'm super proud to be a part of what we're doing here, because there's no other community in all of crypto that's following the original ideals of why crypto was invented and building for, number go up. Of course, we all want 100x, 1000x or more. We want financial freedom, but you know, the thing that comes along with getting rich is getting free as well. Those go hand in hand. So being able to escape the rat race, wanting a better life for yourself or your kids, or maybe you've got a college fund you're saving up for, maybe you've got a big vacation or a wedding around the corner. We should all be able to move freely. And that's what having self-sovereign money offers us, is the potential for extreme price appreciation and the freedom to move and to do and transact wherever we want to. So all you guys watching, thanks for coming. Make sure you like, subscribe, share the video, leave a comment. All that stuff actually does help the algorithm. Enjoy the separation of money and state. I think we're on the winning team, guys. This is what it looks like. It's a peaceful revolution, everybody. Peaceful revolution. I'll see you on the next one.
Absolutely. Thanks, Coffee. Thanks, everybody.